Hey, it's me again, that one hit wonder, Sanai. So today we're gonna look at this scary video.
It's the Hyundai Memorial Day sales event. Now, get a Tucson for just $179 a month, or with up to $3,500 in total savings. With more safety and more savings, you're getting a great deal more than just. When I was in the 7th grade, I heard about astral projection for the first time and thought the idea seemed pretty cool. Who wouldn't want an out-of-body experience and travel around the world? Anyways, I've been attempting it for several months to no avail. I did doubt it wasn't real and eventually stopped attempting it. Then one day on a January, I decided to hit the bed at around 7 p.m. to take a nap, and the next second I began to feel I was being pulled out of my body as a strong vibration feeling overcame me, similar to that body feeling you get from a strong nicotine rush. I then was floating in my room and felt a presence right behind me, but didn't think much of it.
First of all, why would you wanna leave your body? Like, okay, that's just me. Like, why would you wanna leave your body? So, like, I guess your spirit or whatever could like move, whatever, but why would you? But okay, and then if you see this guy, like he don't know what it is. This creepy guy right here, yeah, that creepy guy right there. Um, he just said he felt somebody next to him or pulling him away from his body. Why? But okay, let's
Wasn't a
see.
good presence, more of a demonic one. Despite there being my family in the home awake, I didn't see anyone there, and only the light that illuminated the stairway was on. Everything also had a blue tint to it, and I could see clearly in the dark. I had to swim through the air to be able to move, and went through my door and swam my way downstairs. I decided to go up and through the ceiling, and then through the roof, and explore this new plane of existence. However, as I went through the ceiling, I saw this creature rushing towards the stairs, and it stopped as soon as I stopped moving to see it. I could only see the back of it from the right side of it since it was blocked by a wall, but it had yellow skin, pointy, elongated ears, a tail that's medium-sized, and it appeared to be as tall as I was at the time, 5'6". I stared at it for a few seconds, frozen in fear, and before I knew it, I was awake, back in my bed. I looked at my clock and
First of all, if you attempt more than once to do that crap, it's a sign for you to not to do that. It's a sign. Like, no. It's a sign, people. Like, no. But okay, but he's gonna do it. But it's really a sign not to do it. But okay.
minutes had passed by. I don't know what to think of that, but it was an interesting experience.
When I was 8 years old, I didn't have any friends. My mom wouldn't.
I ain't gonna lie. When I was growing up, I ain't really had a lot. I ain't really have friends. It was school, home, homework, sleep. School, homework, home, sleep. School, homework, home, sleep. When I was like 8, telling you, like I ain't had no friend, like none at all. And like until this day, like until this day, I only had 3 friends. Telling you, like my boyfriend and these 2 girls. I don't want to put their name out there, but yeah. So basically, I only had 3 friends, but okay.
Allow me to play outside with the other kids in our neighborhood. I was always alone. The only playmates I had were my cousins and my brother, but it took 3 hours and 25 minutes to get to their houses. One day, my mom let me play outside with the kids in our neighborhood for the first time because she was going somewhere, maybe to work or to run errands. I got my dolls and other toys and was excited to play with the kids outside. When I got there, no one wanted to play with me. The attempt was useless, but then someone approached me. He had puppy eyes and was cute. We quickly became playmates. Even though he was a boy, he would join me for tea parties with my dolls. He also invited me to play with him at his house. But I was confused because his house looked old and abandoned. Like it
You see how, alright, first of all, you see how in like, alright, before, when they showed the house is older abandoned. Like, do not go in abandoned house. Sorry, do no, no, I don't do abandoned house. Um, a tire, a soda bottle, looks like Pepsi. No, it looks like Coca-Cola. These two cans. Those two cans. No, this is the bottle right here. The can, they look like Pepsi, stuff on the floor. I wouldn't.
hadn't
Sorry.
been cleaned up for almost 12 years. We decided to go play in his garden. When we got there, I puked. I didn't know why at the time, but for some reason, I was disgusted. He didn't offer me water or anything. He just looked at me grinning and said, "Next time, you're going to sleep here too." 2 weeks after that upsetting experience, I went looking for him.
Next time I'm gonna see. No, that will be the last. No. Like, first of all, she saw it puking. He said, next time you're gonna spend a night. No go. Sorry. No, no, no. And she said she was gonna look for him. I wouldn't be looking for him. No. Like, I understand, like, alright, I understand you don't have a lot of friends, but if he said you was,
A paper airplane flew to me out of nowhere. I picked it up, and when I opened it, I was shocked, scared, and sad. It was a newspaper clipping. The boy that I played with went missing 9 years ago. I ran to my bedroom, and I saw a shadow through my window. I looked at it closely, and it was the boy. He was smiling. Today, I'm 19 years old, and I still remember that part of my childhood so clearly.
but, alright, but you know what's crazy? The dead body that they was looking for, I think he's probably in that house, the little boy that died. But okay, the man who escaped from prison broke into my house. I know I did so extra.
One day, when I was about 6 or 7 years old, my mom had gone to my older sister's recital in Georgia, and my dad was at work. He was a pilot for some airline. So she left me and my older brother, who was only 12 at the time, at the sitter's house, which was a few blocks away from my house. My sitter, who I'm gonna call Bev, was 19, and she was pretty much the best kind of sitter to a 6 to 7-year-old boy could ask for. She'd let us play games and stay up watching TV, as long as we didn't bother her while she was on the phone with her boyfriend. We were watching TV, and we could hear something scratching the paneling on the side of the house. Naturally, we blew it off as a stray animal, so we continued watching TV. About 30 minutes to an hour later, Bev ran into the living room and locked the front door and shut the blinds. We were curious as to what she was doing. Me and my brother, being kids, got scared and started crying. Then Bev said everything would be okay. It was just a peeping Tom. So she took us upstairs and we went to her parents' room with the Nintendo and some snacks. She said stay put and not to touch anything we didn't bring into the room. Not a minute later after she walked out of the room, we heard a loud crash and glass shattering in the room below us. The sicko had thrown a brick from the walkway through the guest bedroom window and managed to get in. I remember Bev running into the room and pulling us into the closet telling us we were going to play a game of hide and seek and to be very quiet. She got out of the closet and locked it from the outside latch and disappeared. Several minutes passed and we could hear a grown man screaming, come out wherever you are. I only want to play." Then I heard what sounded like water running in the bathroom across from the closet. Then it shut off. And I heard Bev yelling something at the man. It was something like, "The police are on their way. You better get out of my fucking house now." Then we could hear loud, heavy footsteps sprinting out of the room, and then sirens wailing in the distance. Bev shrieked, and we heard a loud thud on the ground below us. Bev had managed to find an old wooden bat. As the man turned a corner to go out the front door, Bev swung the bat as hard as she could, knocking the man to the floor. Dazed, he got up and tried chasing her outside, but the cops had already arrived and tackled the man on sight. My mom came home immediately and took me, my brother, and Bev back to my house. A few years later, she explained that the man was a known sex offender and had escaped from prison. In the report, he was said to be carrying a rather large knife in his pocket and had a Saturday night special tucked away in the waist of his pants.
I ain't gonna lie, that babysitter is brave because I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna protect the kids, but like calling 911, okay, everybody's gonna try to be hopeful, help the kids, whatever. But for you like to come get the bat, whatever, like she's a good babysitter. Like if she was my babysitter, if I had kids, I'll let her watch my kids. I'm not gonna lie. School lockdown. Lockdown?
It happened last year, 2018, when I was still in my second year of high school. It was earlier March that I was in school. We were just playing some quiz game on my laptop. I connected it to the projector for all of them to see. But then suddenly, the school's fire alarm went off. They said this isn't a drill, but rather a maniac just entered our school with a gun. So all of us closed the door and the window to our classroom and switched off the lights. It was all silent, like you could hear a pin drop to the floor. At first,
Alright, you see how they shut the door and the kids is under the table. I remember when I was in high school, we had our lockdown, whatever, because it was yeah, I think it was pretend or it was a real one or whatever, but I think it was like a real one though. No, it was a pretend one, yeah. No, I think it really was a real one. It was a real one, whatever. And like no, yeah, it was a real one. It was a real one. And the kids was actually crazy. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna say the other word, but I'm just gonna say crazy. And he was like running around, just acting crazy. He just didn't take his medicine, whatever. So yeah, and I guess whatever he had in his hand was like a knife or something like that. And everybody's like, oh, making noise, whatever, in my school, and in my class. And I'm like, dang, we gonna die because of these three students. One hit the locker, because we had lockers in our room. We were standing next to the lockers and we went through, and then one of them hit the lockers. The other one was like kind of talking and panicking. One was not taking it seriously. And I'm like, bro, we gonna be done. So I'm like, we're gonna die. We gonna die. Like, we gonna, because it was loud noise, don't you? Like, yeah. But, okay.
I wasn't panicking that much. But it all started to happen when a gunshot was heard from the distance of our room. I can assume that he already knows that we're here. We are the closest room from the entry hall. Every single one of my classmates was crying. I'm the tallest and the oldest student of them all. I'm 16 and some of them are 15 and 14 and another one is 12. So I thought, I'm the oldest. I should protect them. I was like that. So then I grabbed the fire extinguisher in our room, because every single room in my school has a fire blanket and a fire extinguisher, just in case of a fire. I had a stupid plan inside my head that I'll spray him with the fire extinguisher. So then I opened our room door, and I came across it. He was a middle-aged man, wearing a white tank and black slacks. He was holding a .44 Magnum caliber revolver. At first, we were having a quick draw match, like that. He grabbed his gun first and pulls the trigger. I can feel my heart beating fast, and just then he aimed the gun at me, but it didn't shoot at all. He forgot to cock his gun, so then it's my chance to hit him with the fire extinguisher and knock him out. After that, the police arrived and every student was reunited with their family. And still, I'm wondering, what could have happened if he didn't forget to cock his gun and shoot me first?
Sorry, I heard something. Well, kids now in these days is getting braver and braver. Because what he does did to the guy who had the gun, whatever, and if he didn't like shoot him, whatever. So yeah, that was type of brave. Because but now in these days, like kids, like teenagers are brave because teenagers feel like, or little kids, they feel like they don't have really nothing to live for. Like, especially like teenagers. Teenagers is like dying, like they dying, and it's great. It's sad, like it's sad because teenagers kill themselves for what, like for their boyfriend, because they get bullied, or they cut themselves. So if it's like, or they do it because to like protect their friend or whatever. I give props to people who people who's in high school who's getting bullied. Not people who get, not like that. Like I said it wrong. It came out my mouth wrong. But meaning I get props for people dealing with other people BS, because I feel like people who get bullied, whatever, at the end of the day, they the smartest ones. They the bigger, better person. Not saying, oh, I get props for the people who's bullying the kids who can't do nothing. No, I get props to the people who stands up for the bullies. I get props to dealing with that. And because deep down inside, it's gonna make you a bigger, better person. But then again, it might make you hate other people, or make you not trust people, or make you hurt yourself. It'll make you go, I don't know, so many things. But I feel bad. I feel bad for people who got bullied. Well, I got bullied. Did I stand up for myself? Yeah, I did. But now it's like I don't really like people now. That's what it really is. Like I don't really trust a lot of people, but I don't really like a lot of people either. So that's what I'm saying. People who get bullied, they end up killing people, or they end up hurting themselves, or they end up hating everybody in the world. But okay.
My name is Magda, and I'm 26 years old. I work in an office in the city. On the weekends, I used to love to get away from all the hustle and bustle and take a trip to the countryside. Luckily, I have a cottage
That's
in
a
a
nice
small
house,
village which
a
is
cabin.
located right at the edge of the forest. how I used to love to get out of the city and spend the weekend in my little cottage. Why did I stop? Well, I'll tell you. After a hard week at work, I needed to rest, so I decided to get out of town. I went home, packed my bags, threw them in the trunk, and drove off. When I arrived in the village, it was late in the evening and I was tired from the long drive. I went straight to bed and fell asleep quickly. In the middle of the night, I was awakened by the sound of my car alarm going off. I looked out the window, but there was nobody in sight. I found my car keys, pressed the button to shut off the alarm, and the awful noise stopped. I laid back down and tried to fall asleep. All of a sudden, the alarm went off again. I didn't feel like getting up, so I just grabbed my keys and pressed the button once more.
I don't know. To me, you basically in the woods. So if you basically in the woods, like it's a sign. It basically is a sign. So to me, but okay.
Everything was peaceful and quiet again. However, 5 minutes later, the alarm went off a third time. Once or twice could have been an accident, but now I was wondering what was going on. Could someone be playing tricks on me in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
I got up again and pressed the button to turn off the alarm. But this time, I didn't lay back down. I stood at the curtains and watched. After a few minutes, I saw something by the light of the moon. A shadow emerged from the bushes and slowly approached the car. I could just about make out the shape. It was something tall, skinny, and black. The figure reached out with its long, thin arms and knocked on the car. The alarm went off again, and quick as a flash, the dark figure retreated back into the bushes. At that moment, I realized what was going on and began shaking with fear. I turned off the alarm and continued to watch. The thing emerged from the bushes again, slid silently over to the gates, threw a hand through them, and removed the partition holding the gates closed. I was paralyzed with fear, and I couldn't move. My mind was overcome by panic thoughts. What was it? What did it want from me? What was it doing? Would it ever go away? A shiver ran through my body, from my head down to my toes. My mouth was dry and my heart was beating.
I ain't gonna lie, you scared, but I'll be calling 911. I've been calling the police or something, or somebody to come and help me. Because you're basically a girl by yourself. And that happened too many times. So, yeah.
Fast. I was so tense, I was gritting my teeth and clenching my hands into fists. I regained control of myself and ran down the stairs as fast as my legs could carry me to the ground floor. I wanted to look for something I could use to protect myself. However, just as I was about to switch on the lights, I suddenly froze in my tracks. The dark figure was at the window. It was pressed up against the glass, staring in, looking to see whether or not there was someone home. I immediately ducked down behind the sofa and peered out. That's when I realized what all those tricks with the car were for. It was trying to lure its victim outside. I couldn't take my eyes off its hideous face. Its skin was the color of ash and covered with wrinkles. Its eyes were small, beady, and completely black. Instead of it having a nose, there were 2 ragged holes. It didn't have any lips, just 2 rows of sharp, yellow teeth. When it breathed, it was so heavy and hoarse that it was misting up the window. I just knew it wasn't going to go away. After standing at the window for a few moments, I heard a rustling noise as it came to the front door. I watched as it tried to push its fingers through the gap under the door. The handle began to twitch wildly up and down. The creature emitted a chilling sound. It was not like a human voice. It was a deep, beastly growl. like an angry dog chewing on a bone. I knew that if it heard me, it would keep trying until it found a way to get into the house. I crouched down behind the sofa, hiding in the shadows and desperately trying not.
Hold on. I'll be back real quick. I'm back. I probably took a while long, but okay. Next story. Well, we on this story.
To make a sound. Tears began involuntarily streaming down my face. No matter how much I tried to stop them, I could feel my pulse pounding in my temples, and I was shaking like a leaf, just waiting for it to end. I don't know how long I cowered there. I must have been passed out. When I woke up and looked out the window, the creature was gone. The door was still in place, and everything seemed secure. I've never been so relieved in all my life. I ran upstairs and looked out the window. It was light outside, and there was no sign of anything wrong. Taking a chance, I grabbed my keys, and without stopping to collect any of my things, I ran out to the car. I jumped in, locked the doors, and drove away from the village as fast as I could. I didn't stop driving until I got back to the city. When I got back to my apartment, I turned on the radio and heard a news report. The announcer said that, in the village, the dead bodies of 2 girls had been discovered. Their corpses had been mutilated and dumped in a swamp. I guess the creature found what it was looking for. I don't want to, but I am curious to know. What would have happened if I didn't make the right decision of sprinting?
Well, I don't know what to say because I will went to that car and left, but thank God she didn't. So next story.
This story happened when I was 18 years old and a senior in high school. It was an ordinary night. My dad worked the night shift, so we all decided to sleep in my parents' room. I was with my younger brother, who was 15 years old at the time, my younger sister, who was 11 years old, and my mom. My parents' room was a small, purple, square-shaped room, which also had a bathroom. The bathroom's door was across from the bed. My younger brother and I slept on my parents' bed while my mom and my younger sister slept on the floor. Before sleeping, we all had a short conversation, and after that, we went to sleep at 9 p.m. At 2 a.m., I was awakened by a strange sensation. As I opened my eyes, I had my eyes fixed on the bathroom door, which was cracked open. To my surprise, I noticed a black figure.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Wow!
Which looked exactly like my younger brother. The figure stood there with his arms crossed, watching me. However, his eyes were shut. At that moment, I froze. I couldn't move from the bed, and I was scared that if he opened his eyes, he would have red or bloodshot eyes. I decided to quietly turn my head to the other side of the bed to see if it was indeed my brother. My heart sunk to my stomach when I realized that my brother was sleeping right next to me. So many thoughts kept racing through my head. Who is this person? Why is he here? How could he look exactly like my brother? I tried as hard as possible to sleep and ignore what I saw. A few minutes later, after opening and closing my eyes, I was shocked to see that the figure was now standing above me, still looking right into my eyes with his eyes shut. My eyes were wide open from the shock. I felt like I was going to die from a heart attack. I felt as if he was starting to open his eyes, which scared me and caused me to close my eyes and force myself to sleep. Forcing myself to sleep worked, and the next thing I knew, it was morning. When I woke up, I headed to the living room and saw my mom. After holding it inside for a bit, I gave up and told my mom about the incident. I almost froze when she said she saw the same exact figure and witnessed what happened. It was terrifying. We both saw the same black figure that looked exactly like my brother. It was as if he was my brother's twin. We lived in that house for 2 more years until we finally moved out. After the move, we told my dad about this story because he doesn't like hearing creepy stories, so we kept it a secret until we moved. He surprised us by saying that we were not alone. He saw some strange things in that house as well.
So y'all saying y'all all seen creepy stuff happening in your own home and y'all ain't saying nothing to each other? Really? My thing is, if I see creepy stuff in my home, whatever, whatever, I'm gonna tell somebody right then and there. I'm be like, yo, we got to get like a black person. Black, one thing about black people, if other black people see something in their own home, they're ready to leave. Like they is no ifs, ands, and buts. Like I'm not gonna lie, some like I'm not gonna say all black people do white people things. Meaning everybody knows what white people things. Like when you watch the movie, you always have this one white girl fall over a branch or fall over a big or all of a sudden a rock came out of nowhere. That was white people things. Or like white people, they want to pack stuff and they know bad stuff is happening. Black people be like, fuck it, we just go and buy some new things. But okay, because if that was me, if I seen stuff in my home like that, crazy stuff like that, and if it was a human being standing legit on top of me, I'd have been creeped out. But okay.
When you think of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the last thing you'd think of was a horror story. But yet, here I am. It was the summer of 2014, and I was bored and home alone, so naturally I hopped on CSGO. I went to Dust Online to play some casual. It wasn't a very busy lobby, there was about 5 people on each side. I joined Terrace, where I quickly discovered the only other person with a mic was a guy whose name was something like Smarties McFlurry. He sounded a lot older than me, I was 14 at the time. His name was Dave, and we got along well, and we played good together, since we had the same number of skill.
Oh, I seen
We
this
eventually played more
one. I
CSGO
really did. I
together,
seen this
and
one.
then friended each other on Steam. After that, he asked for some of my social media, and I gave him my Discord and Snapchat. Then on CSGO, Dave...
This one is basically about, well, I basically seen this one, so I basically want to skip this story. This one's basically about, he's a boy, whatever, and the guy he's talking to is a guy. The boy gave him his Snapchat, Facebook, and etc., stuff like that, whatever. And he don't even know, but they don't know each other, but they play the video game like a couple of times. So after a while, you play a video game with one person, or you keep on talking to a person. Eventually, one of y'all gonna be like, oh, let me get your Facebook, um let me get your Snapchat, or let me get your Instagram, or something like that. That's what the guy did to him. Basically, he didn't know that man was a hacker. He hacked his Facebook, Snapchat, whatever. He basically hacked it, whatever. He found out where that boy lived, took the picture, because his parents was going, whatever. He took the picture of his house. He took the picture at his house, like basically like the camera is facing the house too, and he's like near the house. And then he tries to like open the door. He sees, well, not in the mirror, but through the window, he sees this old man, whatever. He's real old. He's real like dirty and needs to wash up his face. And some of his face is dark, and yeah, whatever. And so he gets scared. I think he calls the cops, but he leaves before the cops get there or something like that. And what else? Oh, and then I don't think he called the cops. I don't remember. He did call the cops, or he didn't call the cops. No, he didn't call the cops because he cut off all the he cut off something, but he had his cell phone. So think about it. If you cut off the wire from your house phone, whatever, he still got a cell phone, but he ain't pay his phone bill. So he act like he paid and said, "Oh, I'll call the cops," and that, but he really didn't. So he went. and his parents came back from vacation, whatever. He was gonna tell his parents, and because he had his Facebook, he had Snapchat and stuff like that, and he went back to look on his Facebook and Snapchat to give it to the parents, but when he went to look for it, everything was gone, was delete. Like he had on it and deleted everything that he gave them. He went on his video game and it wasn't nothing on his video game. Point moral of the story is do not give nobody your basically your Facebook or your Instagram unless you really know them. Sorry. I basically just told you the whole story. Basically.
Ben. When we went to their village, it's a pretty big village.
Oh,
11 p.m.
I went too
Gordon on Snapchat. But had he really come to my house? And why were all of his online accounts deleted? I really don't know.
That's the same thing what I said. When he went back, everything was deleted to show his parents.
I was in my friend's birthday party. It was 11 p.m. After the party, I drove my friend to their house, 2 hours away, drive from the party we'd been. When we went to their village, it's a pretty big village, and most of the owner is rich. While I was driving, there was a street there, kind of 500 meters long, and is very dark and creepy. The car I was driving is a Toyota Revo. It has 11 seating capacity, and we are just 3 inside the car. I passed that creepy street, I'm kind of scared because it's dark and a lot of trees that full of leaves and brushes. There's no street light. It's just my car headlights that give light on the road. After we pass that street and I'm dropped them on their house and I'm just alone to go back to my home. But I was scared because there's no alternate route. I really need...
First of all, you did all that driving to get to your friend's house. And if you know don't go well, you went through that passage and you was already scared just going there. Why you didn't ask your friends, oh, can I stay a night? And stuff like that. Like, yo, let me crash on your couch or something like that. But that's people, because some people be like, oh, I just want to go home, that is that. Like, if you were scared in the first place going through it at night, why you just don't ask your friends, yo, let me spend a night, like, let me crash on your couch, or let me, like, sleep on the floor or something. You gotta ask your bed or something, like, but hey, that's just people, but okay.
Past that creepy street in their village, I have no choice but to be brave. So, when I'm about to pass that street, it's really dark, but I have no choice but to pass that creepy street. While I was driving on that creepy street, about in the middle of it, suddenly, I felt cold, but my aircon temperature was not that cold. And suddenly, my back of the neck starts to feel cold. When I look in my rear mirror view, I saw something sitting on the back of Sid looking at me. It's a woman, and wearing white clothes and red eyes. I was so scared, so I drive too fast, and my car engines start making a lot of noise, and so fast. There's a speed bump, but I didn't stop. My car started to slam its front bumper on the road when I drive too fast in the speed bump because I was so scared, until I reached the guardhouse office. I told the guards what happened, and they told me there was really a ghost on that street because one time there's a tricycle was passing that street, and woman, asked if she could get a ride, so the tricycle driver let her ride, and she told the driver to drive her to the hospital. When they arrived at the hospital, the tricycle driver was so shocked because the woman she picked up was not inside the tricycle, and my friend told me there's a story on that street several years ago that a girl was murdered and raped on that street because it was a lot of dark and tall bushes. So when I'm driving alone, I always ask someone to come with me during night. And I don't want to drive alone at night anymore because I don't want to see again someone's ghost riding again with me. I hope her soul rests in peace.
I don't got
I
nothing
was
to
a big
say with
Tinder
that
guy a few
story
years
time
ago.
too.
Everywhere I went, I would update my location and then update, my body count. Then I quit doing Tinder and stuck with Instagram. I know, they're completely different, and IG has a bunch of fake accounts. So I saw this girl commenting on all of my friends' pictures. Then she commented on mine. I also saw my friends replying, so I figured she was a real person because I looked on her page and she had way more followers than people she was following. So I DM'd her.
I already seen this one. Basically, what happened was in this story, he was talking to some girl, whatever. He thought he was talking to some girl, and he went to meet up with her, but deep down inside, he was talking to him.
We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore.
Asked me did I want something to drink, and I said, yeah,
Deep down
sure.
inside,
When
he was talking to the man. The man was pretending to be a girl, telling the truth. Or something like that. But I skipped through the whole thing. But yeah, but I'm gonna let you watch
I
it.
got up, I texted her, can she come out, please? She immediately said yes. The man came back in with 2 cups of juice, one for him and one for myself. Then I noticed that he put a phone down on the table next to him. So I acted like I sneezed and got some on my arm. Then I asked for a tissue. He went to get some tissue and he left his phone like I thought he would. I texted her back, but to my horror, the phone rang. I looked on the caller ID and it was my name. I heard him coming back. He came back and we sat there for about a minute. And then the phone rang again because he never checked the message that I sent. He looked at the phone. I looked at the phone. Then we looked at each other. I postured up, and he calmly said, I guess you caught me. Then out of nowhere, he lunged toward me, attempting to grab me. I punched him, and he fell on his face. I ran out of there so fast, and I never looked back. Yeah, I called the cops. And when they got there, the man was still knocked out. After that, I never went on dates with people that I met online again.
That ended for today. Like, that's the 9 thoughts of what people do that's stupid. That you shouldn't be doing, but people do it. But hey, they chose that life, so alright. So yeah. Bye.